Your community needs your help. We are putting together a hazard mitigation plan for the region, and your input can help to determine how much funding we get for projects in the future. The Hazard Mitigation Plan is a required planning effort. It was established by the Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000, and it identifies mitigation projects for our region. So specifically looking at disaster events, these can include flood, hurricane, tornado, and how we plan projects to improve the resiliency of our infrastructure. We have a survey open currently to anybody in the region. They can identify if they have previously experienced a disaster, how they personally prepare for disasters. Through this planning process, we identify projects. We work with your local governments to identify those projects. And then at the end of the process, once the plan is adopted, then we work with your local governments again to help them apply for funding to improve these critical infrastructure facilities. And then those facilities are less likely to fail in a disaster event, which saves citizens money and hardship. For example, in the past month, we've had several ice events that have resulted in a loss of power in the region. But we want to make sure that key facilities like hospitals or fire stations or water pump stations all are still operating in those moments where there might be power loss. So one of the kinds of projects that this funding would enable is installing generators at those locations. Another example of a kind of project we can pitch in this plan is improving roadway infrastructure, bridges, greenways. One of the really high-profile projects you may have seen about recently is the Smith Park Low Water Bridge. There's hazard mitigation funding attached to that project. So a lot of different kinds of projects that we can identify through this planning process and potentially apply for successful funding in the future. Filling out this survey helps us to show that our community is engaged in disaster preparedness and makes a better argument for us receiving funding for disaster mitigation projects. The survey is open from February 10th to March 21st. After that, we'll take and process the information and work with our local governments to identify projects. We submit it to FEMA in August. They review and approve, and then it's formally adopted by the localities in the fall. The survey closes March 21st, so please head to our website and fill out the survey.